Hi, this is Kathy, and I am here today for another episode of Generosity, Grace, and Gratitude, the 3G's, around which we orient part of our lives because they're important qualities. And I want to talk today about another unusual quality. It's not actually unusual in itself, but the word is steadfastness. I came across that the other day, and I thought, isn't that an interesting word? It's one of those words like I spoke about at the beginning of the fall about duty. Like we all know it, we believe in it, but we don't ever use that word. And I thought, when have I heard someone say steady? And it's usually like hold steady or be steady. And I kind of flashed back to being a child on a farm where I think I picture people touching a horse and saying steady, steady girl, steady, because a child is trying to get on the horse, or you need to be able to flip onto it. And then I thought also canoes, trying to get into a canoe, especially if you've got children with you or other people. Someone needs to steady that canoe while you step into it, because not everybody knows to step into the center, and it can kind of rock. And that's important. Then I thought even the seating in a canoe, or to some extent even like a rowboat, you need to have the weight distributed well so that it's riding right in the water and also not tipping. And then I thought of also, you kind of steady people before a race, before a dive. And that's like steadying to focus. And I thought, isn't this interesting? Like, I've never heard the word steady used in anything but a positive way, but it's such a quiet word, such a subtle word. It's not racing. It's not flashy. It's not anything, but it's important. And especially in this time of our church in particular, and the world in general, there is so much going on. And one of the things that I've learned in studying the organization of systems is that when you have change coming or change happening now, you need to deal with the uncertainty of big things. You want to keep the other things as steady around you as you can. You want to, anything that's optional changes, unless it's something that's clearly for the better, even then you want to weigh it out, because you don't want to have more changes than what you need to have, because it kind of rocks the boat and it takes a while to get back onto that even keel. And so the steadiness factor is important, and that's part of who we are. And I thought, in times of controversy, I hear the people on this side of something, and I hear the people on this side of something. And I pay attention and I listen to both. But then what I love to hear is the people who are grounded, who I see as really grounded people, who are steady people. What do they think? Because a lot of time that's more based in the reality of what's going on than in the more frenetic, possibly, emotions that can happen when you're on one side or the other. And so that steadying influence is really important. And in the Bible, there's a lot of times that you hear steadfast. You hear, be steadfast in faith, be steadfast in hope, be steadfast in prayer, be steadfast in love. And I kind of love those steadfast people through history, but mostly in our community. Who are the people that I see as steady? Not the people who are jumping off at, an instant's notice, not the people who are going crazy, being really upset about something, but the people who are committed to the long haul and kind of unruffled. And I think in my family of origin, growing up, where there was a lot of chaotic things happening, who are the steadfast people that we relied upon? In my teenage years, in my young adulthood, who are the steady people that I trusted? And I think steady and trust are words that go together. So for me, a challenge kind of is how do I remain steady now in the world events in general, in maintaining a vision and a commitment to the values that we hold? How do I remain steady and influence in my family, in my friends? And all of us have that. All of us have that to a remarkable degree. And we don't know how much others are relying upon this and how much that contributes to the world and to the situations just by being that steady person. And it's like we talk about the glue that holds things together. we talk about the solidity of which we hold. I thought there was a quick sentence I wanted to read to you from Scriptures, and it's from Thessalonians. May the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and the steadfastness of Christ. And I think of all the things I think of Jesus about, I don't think of him as steady. But let's read that again. May the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the steadfastness of Christ. That's a great prayer. That's my prayer for you, and it's my prayer for me. May God direct our hearts into the love of God and into the steadfastness of Christ. Amen.